Welcome to Innsbruck, an absolutely stunning Austrian mountain town, often recommended by TripAdvisor and low-quality travel vlogs alike. But as a bit of a local guide myself, I often see this city cropping up on far too many itineraries where it just doesn't make any sense. And so as nice as this place is, in my opinion, you probably shouldn't be coming here. But naturally, I do have a far more nuanced opinion than that, which I'm sure the internet is just going to love. But there really are some itineraries where Innsbruck has a well-deserved place and it fits beautifully. But I've seen many, many more where it's essentially just shoehorned in out of ignorance to the Germanic Alps. A topic that, if you look at my channel backlog, is something I am very passionate about. So to solve this problem once and for all, Camille and I have based ourselves out of Innsbruck for a cheeky long weekend to finally answer the question and make a video for you at home to say why and why not should you visit Innsbruck. And so, like all great near-from-home city review videos, we're going to start with a damn good walk.
I think this is one of the best vistas we've seen from a city in a long time.
Easily.
It's so good. My brain is not accepting that I'm seeing this with my own eyes. It looks as though I'm looking through a telephoto lens that's compressing the image.
Oh, you're right, because we're so close to the mountains, your brain's like, that can't be real.
I'm just not used to being in a city and having the mountains just being right there.
Fantastic. And something that becomes almost immediately apparent as you stroll around Innsbruck is that I think we're hitting almost Praguean levels of architectural diversity. And if you've seen that video, you know that is a high bar to hit. I mean, just look around you. You've got the very classic Tyrolean bright pastel buildings with the gorgeous murals, leading all the way up with the embellishments to the Baroque Viennese opulence. And there's even some modern avant-garde buildings thrown in, and it's just, this place is an absolute feast for the eyes. You have to walk around slowly, and don't forget to look up. There is so much to see. I mean, seriously, just look at all of the buildings around me, right? Every single building is completely different and absolutely stunning in their own way. And what near-from-home video could it possibly be if I didn't call out the public transit? This city's commitment to trams and buses is pretty fantastic. So is my timing. Which of course reminds me, so before I forget, how exactly did we arrive here in Innsbruck? Well, I live in Munich, you know that, and many of you are traveling through that great Hauptbahnhof in Germany, and it has a direct train to Kufstein, a city you all know too well by now from this channel, which has a direct train to Innsbruck. So Munich, Kufstein, Innsbruck, 2.5 hours. There is no reason to take a car here. It was an absolute dream.
Zwei Innsbruck-Karte kaufen.
Now, if this isn't a near-from-home suggestion, I don't know what is. Whenever you begin your walking tour, one of the first places I'm always going to recommend that you go is towards the tourism office, because you never know what kind of great deal or information you might be able to find. And I'm not trying to put myself out of business here. I think near-from-home provides plenty of value, but you've seen this be so successful. Bamberg, Turkey, I could name so many over the years that have done us justice. And today we're putting the Innsbruck Unlimited card to the test. It costs 69 euros per person, nice, for 48 hours, and you get access to a ton of stuff. But what really sold me on it is their pamphlet, because I am a sucker for well laid out information, and this thing's absolutely fantastic. They list everything you get access to and the price. Well laid out information. Camille was saying, do you think it's gonna be worth it? And I had visions in my head of having to Google every attraction, see if it was really on the card and see how much it cost. No, no, no. Now we just need to see how much of this we can do to actually get our value. So I'm pretty excited. Give us a bit of a challenge over the next 2 days. And a little traveler's rhyme for you to help you when you're journeying in Germany and Austria is that when you're strolling the Straße, don't forget to go down the Gasse. I mean, come and take a look at this.
Oh, this is really pretty.
It's gorgeous.
This is gorgeous. And for those of you who don't speak German at home, Straße means street, Gasse means alley.
Thank you. I actually didn't explain what the rhyme meant. I just love that Gasse and Straße rhyme in German. Way better flow than street and jitty.
And a detail that I'm really appreciating is all of the exposed stonework. It just looks so beautifully contrasted with all of the pastel colors. It's really reminding me a lot of Regensburg. Watch if you haven't, it was a really fun video to produce, but it is just so much fun walking around these little Gassen and getting to see these buildings.
Just looking around, we have orange and stone, yellow and stone, red and stone. It is a stone medieval rainbow.
And I love the way the stone sort of juts out too. There are a lot of interesting shapes going on.
Yeah. Oh, and like this underpiece.
It reminds me a lot of Regensburg and the way that we're just surrounded by this really cool medieval Germanic flair. So do not skip the Gassen because they are full of it. And watch the Regensburg video after this one if you haven't.
As a glasses enthusiast, how do you feel about the Brillenmacher?
Extremely enthusiastic.
Did you read the little poem?
I did, it's adorable.
Oh, that's so
Should I start writing poems about glasses?
I mean, that's a low-key banger. Ich mag gut Brillen, klar und liegt, auf jedes Alter hingegibt. But why is he wearing fishnets?
All right, now I know you're not hungry yet, but while you were off filming B-roll on this street, I got us a snack. It's super weird.
What did you get?
I promise you this, you've never seen it before, which is rare, right? I mean, we've shot so many Germanic food videos. It's rare to find a snack that really catches me by surprise. But are you ready?
What? Why is it so skinny?
They call it the Duna Brechte with an X. How komisch. In America, right, when we were living there, pretzels, which is what we thought were German, were those little tiny mini snappy pretzels. Then you go to Bavaria and you get your Brezen, and it's huge and thick and fluffy and bready. And here, they've combined the two. Do you want a piece?
I am very curious as to how this will taste. Oh,
Please say it's good.
it's very crunchy.
Well, yeah.
I don't like my pretzels crunchy, but it's extremely flavorful, unlike those gross American pretzels.
I mean, I think you're still gonna be on Team Bready Bretzen, but I love a good crunch. That is so much more flavorful.
Like, I didn't know a thin pretzel could have so much flavor.
Usually that is what I associate with a thin, crispy. Usually what I associate with these super thin, kind of almost what I would call biscuity crackery, maybe Americans might say, a crackery Bretzen, pretzel, is, yeah, that they're just not very flavorful. This is really good. Next up on our Altstadt adventure walking tour is the Stadtturm, the tower. And you know I love this because it reminds me of those absolutely fantastic medieval skyscrapers popularized in Tuscany, most notably San Gimignano if you watch that video, but also in Regensburg and tons of other places. They're just super common ways for medieval towns to show off their wealth and opulence. And we're usually a bit skeptical about whether or not we like to climb them. I get a bit of vertigo. Camille doesn't like uneven stairs, so we skip a lot of them. But I've been told the Innsbruck Stadtturm cannot be missed. So let's not miss out. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Ooh, I like that it's not rickety, like certain other towers we've done.
Are you trying to be mean to the Daniel right now? Ever since the Daniel, whenever we go into a tower, Camille is always comparing. And look, you're not wrong. This is less rickety than the Daniel. They also have the staircase as a double helix, one for up, one for down, so there's no crossing your paths. I think that's really smart. Not all towers have that, Daniel. Just taking a small break. It's not rickety, but it does shake when there's a lot of people on it. But thankfully, because of the double helix, I can sit down and take a moment and people can pass on by.
Oh, it's just horrible.
Why are they doing this to me?
Oh no.
Just stairs and nothing. Oh my God, I hate it so much.
Oh, it's terrible. No. Oh.
Okay, done with that. What do you think?
This is very cool. Something that I'm really enjoying is kind of peeking on all these balconies that you can't see from the street.
There are some really good ones. I mean, good lives to be had.
Yeah, great for cats.
Yeah, if you like your cat escaping.
Oh yeah, they would definitely go onto the roof. The mountain views are even more dramatic. It's gorgeous.
There are few things better than being high up on a medieval tower when the bells go off. That is so cool, and from here, you get the perfect vantage point to look at them swinging. That is insane. Oh, what good timing.
Yeah.
As the noted near-from-home tower skeptic, what's your final conclusion up here?
This is really nice, I have to admit. I'm very excited to see the mountains and where we're going to be a little bit later.
The views from here are insane. The town, the mountains, you've got it.
But how are you feeling about this?
Ready to go back down. I think this was enough tower for me. Well, I'll tell you what, that tower, now that I'm back on the ground, was not half bad. For $4.50 an adult, I think that's a pretty good price, but free on the Innsbruck Unlimited card, absolute perfection. I would well recommend it. And so to finally cap off our walking tour of the Innsbrucker Altstadt, welcome to the Goldenes Dachel. What a glorious Dachel that is. And in many ways, it sums up exactly how I feel about this Altstadt. It's nice, but it's not a lot, is it? And I think a lot of videos, mine included up to this point, can make the Altstadt here feel quite big, maybe comparable to something like Regensburg. But just to peel back the curtain so you know what you're getting into, I can see where we started filming not that long ago. I mean, really, this has been a very quick video to film so far. But don't worry, I mean, there is still plenty more video left, plenty more of Innsbruck to see, but when we're talking about the Altstadt, the walkability, the gorgeous town and city that you want to be in, it's kind of like the Dachel. There's bigger and better elsewhere, so you can't come to Innsbruck just for this. You have to be willing to do more. But since I don't want to leave the Altstadt just yet, I really want to bask here a little bit longer, I think I have just the solution. We're getting Aperol spritzes because I am hearing so much Italian, it got me in the mood. And I know, we're in regular Tirol, not Südtirol, but I don't know, there's something about it, the vibe, the sun, the ambiance, the Italian, that I just couldn't help myself. You know how much I loved these in Bolzano. Sorry, Bozen. You gotta get it right. So we're gonna put the camera down for a couple more minutes, I'm gonna bask, and then we're gonna exit the Altstadt because there's so much more to Innsbruck than just pretty buildings. Cheers. Legitimately though, this is probably one of the hardest videos I've ever had to film because I don't want to oversell Innsbruck, I don't want to undersell it, really hitting that balance point because it's not big, but what you do get is so pretty. How are you supposed to balance that so I can recommend that you spend your hard-earned money and time here? It's harder than you think. Welcome to the Innsbruck Hofgarten. I think it has to be a must-do. You can see it on the map, plain as day, and I think when we want to start really getting into what makes Innsbruck special, leaving the buildings behind, it's really Innsbruck's connection to nature that does it. I mean, the park is amazing. Take a look at this. The camera will never do that justice, but the mountains surrounding us, that is when Innsbruck really hits its stride. So we're walking through the park now, we're gonna make our way over to the river, and I think we might need to make our way up a mountain too. Also, did you see the sign that they have right in front of the tree?
No, which one?
The one that says climbing is forbidden.
Tragic day for children everywhere.
Yeah, how fun does that look?
No trip to a European city could be complete without walking to the river and checking out the lovable old bridge.
And what a bridge it is.
But if you look over there, you can see the Cogwheel Bridge, which we are going to be riding in a minute. High five for the Cogwheel train.
Cogwheel train!
Yeah!
So now this is where you actually begin to save some money with these cards. So far it's all been a little bit chump change. But when we actually want to leave the city behind and ascend to the mountains with a few stops in between, this is going to save us quite a lot of money. So welcome to the Nordketterbahn Cogwheel train and more experience. There's a lot that's about to go on. It'll make sense in a minute. And naturally, we just missed it. No worries, it runs pretty often, but we're gonna be down at the station for a minute. Gonna use these cards. I suppose while we wait though, we may as well actually fill you in on everything that we're gonna be doing, because there are quite a lot of stops. This here is the first station for the Hungerbergbahn. That's a very modern cogwheel train to the town of Hungerberg. Halfway there though, there is the Alpine Zoo, also at the stop, and from Hungerberg you can get on the cable car to begin actually ascending the mountains. All of that combined costs quite a bit. Put it on screen now and we don't have to pay any of it. Not bad. Oh my word. Tell you what, that was a good ride. All in all, fast, smooth, stable, a little vertigo inducing because it's steep. But I'm also glad it was over quickly because as impressive as it was, they just pack so many of you in there. It takes a bit of the fun off of it. It is a super cool and super unique train though, so I'm really glad I rode it. But now we need to make some fast time to the cable car, otherwise we're not gonna make it either. Hungerberg itself, while we are here for a brief moment, is a fantastic little village overlooking Innsbruck. It's super pretty. The views are already so cool, and there's a bunch of lovely little cafes as well. But like I said, we're already behind the line. See what I mean? In that brief moment I was speaking with you guys and just telling you that cafes exist. It's all full. I don't know about you guys. I really struggle to wait in lines. I hate waiting in lines. That's why I like to go off the tourist path, right? Get more peace and quiet, more place to myself. You're not gonna get that here. So will it be worth it? Can the mountain views melt this curmudgeon's heart? There's only one way to find out. That's to wait in the line. But at last, we have finally made it to the top of Innsbruck. And what may have been mere moments for you was at least an hour of my life. We could have ridden to Tegernsee from Munich in that amount of time. But there's only one way to really find out if it was worth it. That's to stroll around with an open mind. Keep our eyes peeled for a place to get a beer. Now, naturally, we have managed to find ourselves some beer at the peak, but unfortunately, there's 2 tables and 3 benches, which I think is a bit of a missed opportunity, because when I'm coming to a peak, if I'm getting a good view, I want a drink. There's not a lot of room for that. The restaurant is mostly an indoor experience, which is fine, but I can sit indoors elsewhere, you know?
But if you wait a minute, you can find somewhere nice to drink. Prost!
And not to continue being a bit of a curmudgeon, but the peak is leaving a little bit to be desired here. I mean, maybe it's just that we're at the end of the summer season and kind of in the shoulder before the snow hits and the winter season really begins, but not that many places to get a beer. Lots of unfinished construction. I mean, of course, the natural beauty is abound, but living in this area has gotten me used to a little bit more than that. Like, the Zugspitze is a feat of engineering. The Karwendelspitze is so good. We've been to so many of these. This one, it does leave a little bit to be desired. Besides the views, the amenities, they could be a little better. So now then, let's get down to brass tacks, because no doubt many of you out there are pretty confused by this video's framing. We started out as negative as can be, flat out recommending that you do not come here. And then I've proceeded to have an amazing day, film it and bring you along for the ride. So what gives? Well, my problem with Innsbruck isn't that it's bad. Clearly, it's not. It's absolutely fantastic, and you can have a great day here. But to me, a great travel itinerary is as much about what you put in as what you leave out, because you can't do everything. And when you look at most Germanic Alpine holiday itineraries, they start off in Munich, perhaps Frankfurt if you want to go through the Black Forest or do the Romantic Road. Maybe you also want to add in Vienna. There's so much to do. And then, because you've heard of Innsbruck, you've watched some videos where some people walk around and have a good day, you're gonna ask yourself, well, should I go here too? To which I will answer, probably not. At the end of the day, Innsbruck is pretty far away from everywhere else that I just listed off. And if you think about it, everything we've had here can be had elsewhere. Shockingly more off the beaten path and easier to achieve with your itinerary. I mean, I have a YouTube channel dedicated to that fact alone. It took me 5 years to finally get down here. What's your excuse for rushing? Remember, you're traveling. The goal is to see, and most importantly, to experience as much as you can every day, which you cannot accomplish if you spend all of that time in a train or, God forbid, a car, hopping and commuting between every major city just because someone said it's nice. Everywhere's nice. Which is why I love slow travel so much and feel the need to remind you about it every time I can, because you see more when you commute less. And I'm sorry, Innsbruck, for picking on you in this video. You're not the only city shoehorned into itineraries, but you did illustrate my point beautifully. And low-key, not gonna lie to you, little nervous about getting off of this mountain. This line is massive. Oh boy. And so to cap off this video and answer the question, do you need to skip Innsbruck? Probably. That is, unless your goal is to explore as much of the Tyrolean region as possible. And since no one else on the internet seems to want to help you do that either, I guess that's my job too, which is very fortunate, because did you really think I was gonna burn my entire weekend down in Innsbruck following TripAdvisor? Well, no thank you. Tomorrow we're using Innsbruck as a jumping off point to go on a real hidden gem day trip. I've been following my old books and maps, and I think I have found the perfect place to go. So please do subscribe, support the channel in any way that you can, but most importantly, stick around for next week, because I think you are going to fall in love with what we have to show you. And if you like that, then maybe you do need to come to Innsbruck. And I will see you in the next video, wherever that might be. Also, the line got much worse. I'm so sorry. Call this video The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, because it has 9 endings. I'm not done yet. There is something that I need to say. I don't think the peak was worth it at all. It took 2.5 hours to get down. My legs hurt. It was miserable. And we completely missed out on all the great things in the middle. So frankly, if there was ever a microcosm of why I don't like fast travel, going from Innsbruck to the peak is exactly that. We skipped Hungerburg, we skipped the zoo, we skipped all the great things just to go do the tourist thing that we felt like we had to. In this video, I did the thing that I don't want to do, and that's my entire problem. Anyway, here's the recommendation. Here's what you need to know. Because I don't think the peak's worth it, what should you do instead? You should, I think, still get the Innsbruck card if you think you can make it worth it. Going all the way to the peak is really what saves you so much money. So if you're not gonna do that, which I'm not quite sure you should, you might wanna just skip the card itself unless you have to go to the top. Instead though, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the train, because the train is very lovely, that cable train, to Hungerburg. You're gonna get a coffee, you're gonna get some cake, and you're gonna enjoy the pretty good views, the 80-20 of views, low effort, high gain. After that, you're either gonna hike down to the zoo, please go to the zoo, or you can take the train to the zoo. Either way, I don't care. But you should definitely go because it's so cool. Alpine animals are really special and that zoo is really lovely. And all of that, I wish I'd done that instead of the peak. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support and I'll see you in the next video, wherever that might be.